Namaste, good morning. How are you today? Today is going to be a very special class because we will learn about an item which I think almost all Bharatanatyam gurus and performers enjoy creating and enjoy performing. The main reason is that it is a dance with sheer exuberance and joy. It's a time for release, it's a time for joy, and end of the concert, when you have brought out your best, the last thing is the joy. And so you've guessed correct. Yes, we are going to discuss Tillana today, right? So the word Tillana indicates a very special and typical dance, which is one of the very vital compositions of the Margam of Bharatanatyam. It sequentially begins the Margam with Alaripu, then moves to Jatishwaram. After Shabdam, Varnam, which is the heart and soul of the dance, comes, and then is the Padam, the Javali, the Kirtanam, the Tillana, and finally it reaches the long awaited highest peak, which is popularly adored as Tillana. That means Tillana is such a composition which is usually performed at the end of the repertoire. Tillana is a pure dance, that is Nritta. Nritta means pure dance which has prominence of Tal and Lay and does not convey any meaning or a narrative. It has a meaning which is inherent but has no abhinaya. It comprises of technical steps, the adavus, the basic steps of Bharatanatyam, and composed in, combined in permutation, combination in various ways. Thus, it is a blending of different adavus set in a particular tal. The adavus are set in such a rhythmic pattern that creates a beautiful geometrical figure on the stage. This set of adavus are performed very gracefully. Initially it was performed amateurishly, but in the due course of time it is nurtured as well as established in a most sophisticated way in this classical dance. In the past and present too, this dance recital is the expression of ecstasy through spriting movements. Thus, the main aim of Tillana is the bestowment of blissful spiritual joy, which is described as Chidananda or Brahmananda. As mentioned, Tillana is a composition mostly related with Tal. It reflects in this composition the words or sholus like Ta, Dhi, Tom, Nam, Tat, Dit, Tanom, Dirana, Dhim, Nadir, Jam, Tajam, Takajam, Kitataka, Tomdir, Dharangu, and such. These are the bowls of Prudang which are used. These sholus are composed in a particular raga in such a way that it creates a beautiful composition. Bharatanatyam is one of the classical dance styles in India. Other classical dance styles also follow similar form of Tillana in their own conception. The Kathak style has Tarana in place of Tillana. Similar kind of sholus or bowls are used in compositions of the Tarana, and at the end the speed of the dancer is increased in its highest point. Both these Kathak and Bharatanatyam dance forms have resemblance, though it is first originated in north and in south. Like these two, we have another classical dance style from eastern India. This style is known as Odissi, which belongs to Orissa. In this style, there is a composition called Tarjan, which seems similar to Tillana. One more classical dance style, which is known Kuchipudi, belongs to Andhra Pradesh. In Kuchipudi dance style, you must have studied this all dance style in an undergraduate and the list of items. So, this is kind of a revision for you all. So, in Kuchipudi dance, a composition similar to Tillana is known as Tarangam. But the composition of Tarangam also has sholus like Tillana. But in Tarangam, there is a addition that along with the dance, the dancer also uses a lot of what we call special skills like dancing on a plate, then keeping the pot on the head and diva in the hand and dancing with different kinds of diditai, diditai, dittai, dittai and such variations with the things. It is a lot acrobatic, but it is a special skill developed by the Kuchipudi dancers. Tillana's musical composition has Pallavi, Anupallavi, Sahitya, Charanam and Charanaswara. Pallavi denotes the very first line of Tillana, which is sung repeatedly with variations. It is followed by Anupallavi, which is a second line of Tillana. It is a small piece of sholus sung in a very attractive manner. After Anupallavi, Pallavi is repeated often, many times. Then comes Sahitya, that is literature which is sung in praise of the king or the lord. The greatness and the beauty of the deity or the king is expressed, and usually the composer or devotee surrenders himself at the feet of the god. Sahitya is followed by Charanaswara. It is combination of swaras and sholus woven intricately and beautifully. After Charanaswaram again Pallavi is sung once. This is a musical composition of Tillana in the Carnatic music. So, now we have seen what is a Tillana and its structure and its special importance to Bharatanatyam. But along with this, main thing that comes is the structure, that is the way it is danced or it is created and choreographed. So, the dance composition or choreography of Tillana is done in almost 10 pieces or parts. It starts with an attami, that is the griva or the neck movement, which is also done sometimes in 1, 2 and 3 speeds. This is followed by Mai Adavu. Mai Adavu consists of beautiful body movements or graceful movements. It has 3 speeds, Vilambit, Madhya and Druta, or slow, medium and fast. Mai itself means body and the movements done with the body. Basically the whole dance is the body movements, but here Mai would mean mainly torso, because most of the times in Bharatanatyam we are using hands and the feet, but the movement of the torso is limited. Here the whole movement of the body is guided by torso. So, you extend your hand and turn around not the hand, but the body from your torso. that then it becomes the Mai Adavu. Then the Mai Adavu may end with a short Tirmanam. These Mai Adavus can be one or more in numbers. In traditionally they were performed 4 Mai Adavus. Mai Adavus are performed on Pallavi, that is the first line of Tillana. It is followed by Korvais. Korvais are also performed on Pallavi, that is the main line of the Tillana. Korvais can be 3 to 5 in numbers. If they are Panchajati Korvais, then number is 5. In Panchajati Korvai, it means that each Korvai is set to a particular Jati. As you know, in Carnatic Tal system, there are 5 Jatis. They are Trishram with 3 beats, Chatushram 4 beats, Khandam 5 beats, Mishram 7 beats and Sankirnam 9 beats. One Jati in one Korvai means all the aduvs used in that Korvai are set in that particular Jati. And then the Tirmanam or Tihai is also set in that particular Jati. This is a mathematical calculation with the help of units, that is minor scale of the Tal, Matra and Akshara. Setting dance in this Korvais is very difficult, challenging and intricate. It is a real challenge to any teacher guru to compose and choreograph a Panchajati Tillana, teach it to the students, and the student dancer has to have total command of the Tal. Then only such Panchajati Tillanas can be performed. But it is absolutely essential to have these in your repertoire so that your time and your logic is very clear. Can you tell me now that the dancers do not have logic? Because this is sheer mathematics, and that mathematics that needs to come out from your body. Each and every part, and these are cross rhythms, because if the Tal is going on in Adi Tal, let us say of the 8 matras, and you decide to do a Tishra Jati Korvai, then in the 8 you do 3, 3, 3. So, at the end of the cycles it ends up in 3s, and you have to do it with the slow, medium and fast pace. It is not just 1, 2, ta, tei, tei, tat. You have ta, tei, tei, tat, dit, tei, tei, tat, ta, tei, tei, tat, dit, tei, tei, tat, and so many variations that you need to bring to make a perfect Korvai, and which is also mathematically totally balanced. Anyway, after the Korvais, and many of the composers, choreographers, gurus and teachers do Korvais not in Jatis, but they bring Jatis in between, and so normal Tillana would have 3 to 4 Korvais. After these Korvais comes the Periye Adavu. Periye means to cover the space. In this piece and the Adavus, which can cover the entire stage or the room, are used. Periye Adav is also based on the line of Pallavi, which is followed. Now, after the Periye Adav, Anupallavi is followed. So, do you see here that when the Devadasis were learning at that use of space in the temple, in the court of the palace, what was the way to cover the space, and now on the stage, what is the way to cover the space. So, there is the entire different use of space, and with that comes the body movements. This all is necessary for younger generation to comprehend and put it in practice. So, in Anupallavi, a small piece of Shollu is repeated 3 times and is called Aradhi. Aradhi gives a very effective and fine ending to every piece. And Aradhi is repeated maybe after the Mayyadavus, maybe after the Korvais, after Periyadavu and everything. Aradhi is a small flourish at the end of any Korvai. As Anupallavi gets over, Sahitya is displayed in a different manner. It is a lyrical piece in which use of Hastamudra and Abhinay is essential to convey the meaning. The line repetitions can vary from artist to artist. Sahitya continues with Tattamettu, that means these hastas are joined with the footwork. After Sahitya, there comes the last piece of Tillana, that is known as Charana or Charanaswara. It is a combination of Swaras and Sollus set beautifully with the help of Jatis in a particular tal. This piece too ends with Aradhi and the dancer steps off the stage very elegantly. Many of the Tillanas may not have Abhinay, just like in the Kafi Tillana. A lot of people use Abhinay and some do not. So, it again depends on the choice of the artist to introduce Tillana or Abhinay or not. But if a Tillana is written with Abhinay, most of the times Abhinay would be introduced, because it is a short 2-line passage and normally to a Devi or a god or the king. Then we go to the Tillanas and it is compositions. Tillanas are composed in many rags and different tals. Commonly used tal is Adital, that is of 8 matras, 4 plus 2 plus 2. Then we have Tillanas set in Rupaka tal of 6 matras, 2 plus 4. Also there are Tillanas set in Mishra Japu tal of 7 matra and Khanda Ekam tal 5 beats. Some are in Madhya tal also, Madhya tal, not Madhya, Madhya tal, that is 4 plus 2 plus 4 in Chatusha Jati. We have Tillanas in Atatal, Laghu, Laghu, Dhruta, Dhruto. In Chatusha Atta it would be 4 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2, and such Tillanas in Tishra Gati and Tishra Nadai. The raga used for Tillanas often used are Paras, Hindolam, Kedar Gauda, Bhinna Shadaj, Bhageshri, Vrindavani, Todi, Khamas, Revati, Bhairavi, Chandrakaunsh, Shankara and so on. Tillana is all that all Adavus go with the meter of the song. The choreographer should set or compose the steps with which will match the song. It enhances the beauty of that composition. Tarana or Tillana is a racy musical form in classical music and has been the most popular form sung all over India in concerts, musical concerts. Most of the musical concerts would have a Tarana in North India and a Tillana in South India. This is the form with meaningless words. The words have no meaning, they are the rhythmic syllables, but it has attracted not only the vocalist but also the instrumentalist, and they are most popular. I mean, it is a must for a Bharatanatyam dancer and a Kathak dancer to use Tillana and Tarana in north and south respectively. The musophonic syllable sung in fast tempo has made it enjoyable from a learned to a layman, and that is how Tillana is called the dance of joy. It is said that Tarana was popularized by Amir Khushru, a great poet, musicologist and he lived around 14th century AD. It is a very strange coincidence that Amir Khusru was born in India. He had a Persian father and an Indian mother, and growing up in such milieu with the mixed culture, it made easy access to both Indian and Persian music. He was appointed as a bard of Sultan of Delhi, Alauddin Khilji. And all the people and musicians coming to the darbar of the Sultan from all parts of India really were exposed and liked Khusru's musical talent. And from where does the word tarana come? It comes from a Persian word tarannum, which literally means a song. So, it feels that Amir Khusru might have developed this form by blending a form prevailing in the society in India with a Persian mode of music. We can also look into the history of Indian classical music, and we do find similar musical form named Kaivat Prabandha in the Sangeet Ratnakar of Sharangdev. This was written in the 12th century. Prabandhas, as you know, are the musical forms sung in that period and were composed by combining two parts, dhatu and anga. So, Kaivat Prabandha was composed by selecting three anga, namely Tenak, Part and Swara out of the 6. Tenak refers to auspicious words, Part or Patakshara are the poles of Mridanga and Swara are the notes. Similarly, earlier than Ratnakar, Natya Shastra of Bharata also refers to a similar form named Nirgeet, having same features. Hard consonants like Dingli, Zantu, which were also called Shushka Akshara, that the names of deities were included in the form. Both the above forms showed a great resemblance in concept with Tarana and Tillana. So, here we have a Persian language, put sargam bolts of mridangam in composition, increased the tempo and thus gave Tarana and Tillana a new look. The swar and laya improvised in different tals in the all three laya, that is Vilambit, Madhya, Dhruta, slow, medium, fast, gave a graceful aspect to the composition set in a particular rag. Improvisation through the syllables sargam and alankars were part of the music, are part of the musical singing. And in other words, Tarana could be said as a representation of Nom Tom set in a tal. Purity of rag and Nom Tom alap in Drupad reflect the influence of Tarana. So, also one can identify its footsteps in Jhala of an instrument performance. Tarana also is used so much in Kathak to bring out the beauty of tal, its rhythm, the todas and tatkars, but with the musical notations. And so, both Tarana and Tillana are kind of chamatkarik. And then in other dance styles also, as you saw that in Kuchipudi and in other Taranas are used, Tillanas are used. So, as we see, any Tillana performed in this manner gives immense joy to the audience as well as the dancer. The dancer artist needs a vigorous stamina to perform and present Tillana, because as you see it comes at the end. As it is a nritta or pure dance, it is continuous process of footwork which should have perfection in adavus, rigorous practice and ease in presentation. Sometimes artist takes a liberty to add some still poses to enhance the beauty of the dance. Through these still poses, the dancer becomes sculpturous and gets some breathing space and energy for the next piece of the recital. All these Tillanas are traditionally composed in Carnatic music. The famous composers take pride in composing Tillanas and have a number of compositions to their credit. Some of them are mentioned as follows. Tanjore brothers, who are known as the Tanjore Quartet, they were, as you know, in the 17th century in the court of King Sarfoji. Then Maharaja Swati Tirunal, who was the king of Tiruvendram and has Nama Mudra of Padmanabh, is yet another great composer. Other composers are Vidwan Dandayutpani Pillai, Madurai T. Srinivasan, Ladgudi Jayaraman, Madurai R. Murlidharan, Ottukadu Venkata Subbiyar, Madurai N. Krishnan, T.K. Rangachari, Thirugakarnam Subbiyar, Pattanam Subramanya Iyer, Kittappa Pillai, Dr. Balamurali Krishnan. All these composers originate from South India and their compositions are in Carnatic style of music. But we also have Tillana composition in Hindustani style of music. The noteworthy among them is Dr. Anjani Anup Kumar, Srimati Anjali Mayer. These being a dancer and Hindustani vocalist, they have composed many Tillanas making use of Hindustani music. They are all melodious and eye-catching. A number of artists are taking interest and trying to compose new Tillanas on large scales. Perhaps you will also try your skills at composing Tillana sometime.